All right, we're back again. So the last episode, we kind of got into the deep stuff. We got into more the political side. We want to be balanced, right? So this time we're going to talk about things that are more uplifting, things that are kind of going on that we've seen that are, kind of things that we can praise God. And we got our tambourine ready to go. Judy, you want it?
Sure, I'll take it.
we have something.
And we'll go
we have something praiseworthy. All right. Okay, so Diane, you want to talk about the Hope event? We're going to share some things from the Hope event the other night, what it was about.
Yes, the first one we had, on the death of a child, I didn't go to because I figured I'd be the loud boo-hoo and just carrying on.
We all were boo-hooing.
And I thought, I can't go. But I watched it. It was so inspiring. Those people were just...
That's what heroes look like.
Yes, because I don't know if I could be like that, and I hope I never have to find out.
Yeah.
But then I went to the Hope event of the, Hope After an Abortion, and I was there. And I have to say, being there was a whole lot better than watching it.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know what it was. I guess because I was there and I was seeing those people that were brave enough to stand up and talk about it.
Well, the Holy Spirit was thick in this one.
Yes.
And what happened afterwards with the pockets of people just standing around praying and weeping, and there were only 20 people in the whole building.
Yeah.
But it was amazing.
It was amazing. And, it's like, when it was over and we all went around and talked to each other and, thanked them for, being, to come forward and stuff. And it was just an awesome, very inspiring. It was, I was just like, oh my gosh, and you never thought, and the lady that had the 3 abortions, and then she came to know Jesus, and
as a result of her abortions, actually.
Yeah, and said, I'm so sorry, God, I killed your babies, and that just, I thought, okay, I'm gonna start crying again. But now she counsels people with abortion, and look how far that has come. From her having abortions to getting up, talking about it, and counsels people, and it was just, I was just in awe. It was excellent.
Good.
Everybody needs to watch it, or I don't know what the difference was, but just being there in that building. I guess because you could feel that Holy Spirit in that building that night.
Yeah. And in the beginning, I was kind of like, oh, I'm doing all this work and nobody's coming. So that was kind of like a little letdown. But then when I saw what happened with just a few, I was like, okay, numbers don't matter. This is for the internet. This is for people, those few that do show up. So I'm not going to worry about that anymore. That's not going to be my focus at all. And the way they recorded it and the way Lauren edits it, it's like there is a crowd there because of the way it was set up and the way the camera angles. Right. So let me tell you what happened. So it was Hope After Abortion, and we started developing it. It couldn't be just about somebody who had an abortion, because it had to be about people who also chose not to have an abortion. And what happened? Well, our story with Hannah is that we were told that she didn't have a part of her nose, spine, and lips, and we needed to abort her, and I was high risk because I didn't have it. I was 46. And they really tried to push us into that abortion. So our story was very different. And then Lauren and Billy, who are the pastor and his wife here, their stories there, and their baby girl, Hosanna, lived 20 days. And they chose to give her that life even though they knew. And Lauren, we love you, honey. And their story is on there too. So anyway, so I asked Pastor Billy if he would come and give the remarks, the biblical response, which is basically a little sermonette at the end to kind of draw it all together. And there was this young man in his 20s, and he kept going in and out like a cat on a hot tin roof. And when he come in, y'all couldn't see him. When he come in, he'd walk all the way across the back. He'd sit down a minute, and then he'd go out. I'm like, because in these events you're like, okay, who's here to make trouble? So I started to like pray for him. I said, Lord, I don't know, if he's lost or if he's looking for someone or whatever, but he's as nervous as he can be. And so then he heard Jarrett tell his story. Jarrett's a young man, and he thought his baby had died in a miscarriage, but it was an abortion. He found out. So he was giving his testimony. So the young man heard that. So he would get up and he would go out. He'd come back. Pastor Billy got up and he was talking. And right as Pastor Billy was in his thing, he said, I want you to know how much Jesus really loves you. That man was walking out again. And he snapped his head back right at that. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And I'm trying to be aware, of what's going on. And what Pastor Billy had to say was so amazing that I was trying to be focused with him too. But there was something going on with this young man. And so he went out. And I thought, oh man, he's going to miss it. Well, he came back. But when he came back, we do this invitation differently. So we have all the panel members go down and sit, and we say, if there's someone on the panel you'd like to ask questions of, talk with, pray with, cry with, whatever, go find them. During this song, go tell the world about me. Well, this young man went and found Jared, which was the younger guy that had lost his baby in abortion. So he said, I'm looking for a ride. That's what he was looking for. He needed a ride home. He didn't have a car. And he saw there were cars at the church. And he thought, well, I can go in there and find somebody safe that will take me home. I don't know why he didn't have a car. But guess what? He had lost his baby girl at age 3. She was 3 years old. So he was divinely placed in that place, and he was suffering. One, because he didn't have a ride, and it was hot that day. Was it hot that day? I think it was hot that day. And another thing, he was suffering because he's hearing about other people that lost their baby that are loving God, and he doesn't have any reference of it. So Jared talks to him and takes him home, and on the way he leads him to the Lord. So this young man, we're in there, and there's just 20 of us, and we're talking about babies that died and situations in life and how God was good to us. And this young man, God just draws him right into the church. And even though he's nervous, he keeps going in and out. God keeps saying, go back, I guess. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, because he could have left at any time. Hey, no one's going to give me a ride. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And if there had been, 100 people, there more than likely would have been that he would have left. But because it was just a few, he felt comfortable to keep going in and out. And so that was really good. And there were other things that happened that night that were all connected. And that's one thing that I'm seeing is happening, is all this connectivity with people that are broken. Because when we get there, what we do is we say, look, we're all equal. There's no titles here. There's people with titles, but I said we're all equal. We're not going to concentrate on those things. We're just going to grieve together is what we're doing. It's like one big grand counseling session, group counseling, where you have people telling their stories of how the life tried to break them, how the enemy tried to destroy them, and how God won.
And I think that's why I enjoyed it so much being there, because God was with us. I mean, you could feel it even when you first walked in and sat down before it ever started. You could feel God, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't know what's going to happen, But it was just awesome. And then, like we said, when you called everybody to go and talk, and you talked to the people and stuff. And it's like when I talked to Jared, I said, I never really thought about it from the man's point. Mm-hmm. You think about the woman going through it, but you don't think about that guy that lost a baby too. And I said, it made me think.
Because usually they want it to be over with. They want it to be removed, but not always.
And I told him, I said, you helped me to understand that I need to be praying for that man too, because he's lost a child. Mm-hmm. And you don't think about that. So it was just an awesome session.
And it was divinely set. I don't know how God did this. I do, because he's God. Mm-hmm. But literally, we were on the very anniversary of Roe v. Wade being reversed. Mm-hmm. It was 1 year exactly. And it fell on a Saturday. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing that we could celebrate this the very year after. What was it like for y'all last year when you heard that Roe v. Wade could be reversed.
It was like, yes!
But was it,
Well,
what,
we had heard that day that it was, and I was just, oh my gosh, I think I started crying.
And it made me
That's just a
think,
big
God
deal.
is
Yeah.
still in charge.
Yeah.
You know, whether you believe it or not,
On
He's
His
still
time.
in charge.
Yeah.
Of course.
In His timing,
Yeah.
He did it. And
Exactly.
how many, all the babies that's been saved,
but, when that happened, when Roe v. Wade, we didn't realize that we were going to enter into even a greater fight where the devil would just come out like at the Grammys and all these kind of things. So it makes you wonder how much of the demonic has been tied to abortion. And it's right in there. It's a
Remember
part
in the
veil.
Bible, they were doing that.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like this demonic stuff is nothing new. It was in the
It's
Bible.
It's just more in our face now,
Yeah,
where they're
there's more-
upfront with it.
And there's more media, and stuff that they didn't have back then. I mean, you turn the TV on, you turn the news on, anything, it's in your face.
But, that's part of it. That's part of the right. If they can tell you what they're doing and then you purchase their records or you do this, then you are actually inviting the demonic that's tied to them into your own life. So that's something that they're doing it now because they know there's kids that are actually excited to get on board with that. And I don't understand that at all, but we have fallen to that point.
They're
They don't
searching.
understand.
They're searching for
Questions.
something. And I guess my thing is parents need to be parents. Not their best friends, not their, parents.
Yeah, and you need to look in that room. You need to go snoop.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about y'all, but when you had kids and you had to spank them, didn't it hurt y'all worse than it did the
Yes.
kids? But you had to bring them up till they knew right from wrong. And parents aren't doing that now.
I think parents are too scared to do anything. Like when my kids were young, I told them, what, you live here, but I can go in your room whenever I want.
That's right.
I'm a parent.
That's right.
And if you want me to take off the door, I'll take off the door. No privacy. You have to think
And
out of
you
the
were a
box.
policewoman.
Oh yeah, I would tell parents, no, this is what you do.
That's right.
And I would tell parents all the time, you have to be creative. Because I had a young kid that wouldn't come to school. And so he came one morning with his mom because he got in trouble. And she was there and we were talking and I said, you know what I do? And can't even remember what his name is, but I remember he had long hair. I said, you like your hair? He says, yeah. So I said, Mom, what I would do in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd get those zips and I'd cut his hair. And he looked at me and his eyes got big. He says, no, Mom, don't do what she says. And I said, because once you get a good cut, now you got to cut the rest of it off.
Oh, wow.
And he says, no, Mom. And I said, then you've got to.
It stopped Samson.
Yeah. I said, you got to come to class then.
Oh, wow.
You don't know if she's going to cut it now in the middle of the night now.
Oh,
And she says, that's a good idea.
oh, my goodness. That's a good one.
You've got to be parents, You've got to bring them up.
But a lot of these kids, and they're not even kids anymore, they're adults that are going to these concerts. They need to be really aware of what they're going to see because I've seen videos of what they show. I mean,
Even
Madonna
Taylor Swift.
and some of she's
gotten into
demonic.
them.
A
And I'm
lot
like,
of
my
these
goodness.
people.
And what's
if you
going
pay
on?
attention.
And what's going on with Dolly Parton? And what's going on with Dolly Parton?
I don't know. I didn't-
Dolly Parton is now she's doing rock and roll covers of. She was singing the other day, Magic Man. And I'm like, Dolly, you are too old for this, and you've already been famous, and now she's all tied to Miley Cyrus and praising her and all this kind of thing. And I'm like, Dolly, stop. I just don't understand. What is she, what does she have to prove at this point? She can be herself for the rest of her life, but she's trying to reinvent
Maybe
herself.
she's going through midlife crisis.
She's 80.
Y'all been over it by now.
She
got a late start. I'm not going to change to be the way they want me to be. I'm never going to condone it. All of this foolishness is what I call foolishness. but I'm not gonna hate them, I'm not gonna go up and slap them, you know? But I don't condone it, and I'll never condone it.
It's just like being a parent. You love your child, and sometimes I didn't like what they did. It's not that I don't love them. I don't like this behavior.
It's just like God and us.
I'll never stop loving my children. But that doesn't mean that I have to like every decision they make. I'll still love them.
Yeah.
Just like we love people. We love these people, and I would hope that they would see what's going on and how the devil just wants to use them. He doesn't care about them.
Yeah, and once he uses them up, and they no longer have any usefulness, or they don't stay connected anymore to him, then their bodies start breaking down really quick, if you've noticed. There's a lot of people that are getting really rare diseases, like Celine Dion, and she was one that actually came out and put demonic symbols on children, baby clothes. She had a whole line.
That.
Yeah, even black in the nursery. And now she can't sing anymore. She does cough. So you got to ask yourself, if you're playing with the devil and then you can't put out anymore, and he starts calling in the dudes.
And then, you know what, I don't really need you anymore.
Yeah, and everything that maybe, he was giving you the appearance that you were healthy and you really weren't, Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, it's too much. But you know what? You know what though? The Bible in Revelation tells us that it's going to get worse before it gets better. So where do y'all think we're living? And what are your opinions in living in the days and things like that? What are your thoughts? Because we're seeing things now we didn't see growing up.
Well,
never would have thought we'd ever see.
Yeah. Well, the rapture hasn't happened. But what do you think? Not necessarily the rapture, but some people think that we're in line for a snapback revival with maybe Hannah's generation. I can see that happen because the homeschoolers are amazing kids. They are really changing a lot of things. I tend to believe that maybe we are in a snapback with their generation, but it won't last long because the devil got so far this time. I mean, COVID really opened up a lot of things of how people can be controlled.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think? I don't know.
I'm hoping for a revival because I just keep saying, especially when you see these ball players and you see people in Hollywood now that are coming out that
and making
have
movies.
Never said anything before because they would get blackballed. But Mel Gibson has been saying stuff.
Well, he's got a new documentary coming out.
Yeah, with Tim Ballard. That's a big deal. So
and they're talking about
that when that comes out.
And they're talking about adrenochrome, where the adrenalized blood that they're taking from these children. And he says the other day, you're going to learn a bunch of stuff.
Yes, I know. I'm not into that.
And what he said, Jim Caviezel, who's playing Tim Ballard, see, it used to be 6 or 7 years ago, that was back in the back where us crazy people heard about it and we're like, if anything's going to be wrong, let that one be wrong. Yeah. But now he's talking about in the open. And he said, it has a mystic ability to make you look young. That's the pull. And where they get it from, and you do your own study, Judy. I won't expose you to that, but it's called red pill and blue pill. But it's bad.
I'm thinking that I've seen that on TV.
You're going to see a lot more lately because it's now being talked about open.
They have talked about, they don't actually say adrenochrome.
He did the other day at a big conference.
There was a movie.
Yes,
that they
a long time
refer
ago.
to it. They don't say it.
It's a greater high than cocaine.
Yeah.
It's like 10 or 15 times higher than heroin. No,
So
than
cocaine
heroin. No, this is adrenalized blood. And so you go and look at it.
So bad.
Yeah.
The adrenaline starts.
Yeah. So, but he said that it has a mystic property to make you look young. So there's your, if you want to look young and you want to be young all the rest of your life, but that's not possible. Just age with grace.
I earned every one of these gray
That's right. Now I still cover mine because Hannah's young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not a big deal. But some people can pull off that white, beautiful hair and gray hair. I could. you know.
I think it was like my grandmother had the prettiest silver gray hair. And I always said, growing up with her and stuff, I said, Granny, I want my hair to look like yours. And I'm thinking, I'm getting there. You know, because I thought it was so pretty, you know, and I wanted hair like my grandmother.
So what do y'all like about this age? I mean, you know, I'm not a grandmother, but I am at grandmother age. So what are some of the things you really like about this age? I like some things.
Sometimes you can just say stuff because you've been there, done that.
That's right.
You know?
And you don't care.
No, and I don't care.
Yes.
She's just old. She doesn't know any better. We can wear whatever we want. Yeah, she didn't realize that what she put on didn't match. She's just old.
Well, have you seen where these people that we should do this sometime, but this is so funny. You probably wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't know. Maybe I would. But they go to Goodwill, and so they get into the section where their size is, like where they go where the pants are if they want to wear a skirt. And so they have a friend, and they close their eyes, and they go down the road, and they say stop, and they have to pull out the first thing that they get, and when they get it, then they have to go and they have to get the outfit, and they put it on. They go to dinner together, and they had these 3 grandmas.
Oh my God.
It was hilarious what they pulled out. Now Todd and Hannah did this, but we didn't buy the clothes. It was for I think it was something for her or something for me. I forgot what it was. So we decided we'd do this TikTok. So she picked out clothes for me. He picked out clothes for, let's see, she picked out clothes for him. No, I picked out clothes for him. We all picked out clothes for the other one. And it had to be really wild. And of course Hannah looked good in hers because I had this hippie stuff, and she was looking.
I love hippie stuff.
She was looking. I know it. So we put those on. We took pictures, and Todd had on like a leisure suit with what is that stuff you want? Polyester.
Was it green or like lime green or powder blue?
It was awful. And he stood there in the picture. I had little glasses. He has his little glasses. He stood in the picture and did like that.
Did he have ruffles like Dumb and Dumber?
No, he didn't do that. But he did have a tie that didn't match.
Oh God!
Oh, it was funny. But we had the best time. And we went in the dressing room and put these clothes on. And then
you wore them out?
we wore them out. I ended up walking out with the skirt. I like the skirt. It was flowered
But a
purple
lot
flower.
of stuff that we wore back when we were in high school and middle school, it's coming back.
I know, we're cool again. Look at you. Yeah, you got, yes, and you got boots.
Sandals
Yes,
and-
see? We're cool again. You know that. Ring that
cool.
bell. Ring my bell.
That's what I used to tell my daughters when the word swag came out. I would tell them, I'd ask them, what's swag? Mom, don't worry about it. You're not swag. Yeah, I am. I'm swaggity swag. I'm so swag. And then, Mom, no, Mom. They don't know. They're just jealous.
But getting over's not,
Peanut butter and jealous.
it's not bad.
Peanut butter and jealous. That's cute.
Movie.
No, getting old is not bad. Except when you go to get up. Sometimes
Yeah, I mean,
your hip, you have to tell your hip to move.
You have a lot more aches and pains.
Stuff doesn't heal like it used to.
No, it takes you longer to get over stuff, but
I go to the chiropractor.
I need to go to the chiropractor. I haven't been.
I have a good one. Murfreesboro.
Which one?
Borough Chiropractic.
Oh, Burrow. I go to the Joint, but they change my doctor every time I turn around. So I'm looking for one around here.
and you know, we talked about getting a trip up, we go to the salt place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's, we have to go to the other direction. That's the salt
That
one
one?
here.
Yeah.
It's not a real
No, we
one.
want to go to.
You gotta go in the cave.
Yes, we want
Yeah.
to.
So
We have all these trips planned. We're going to have to get on.
Well, all these trips
we're gonna,
planned that we're not
I
going to.
know it. So when will you be where you can like go and do all that good stuff?
August.
August? Is that August?
And the first part of July. We have stuff going on with weddings and babies coming.
So August. What about you? Will you be
I think-
healed and everything?
I think August would be good.
Okay.
I would think.
That'll give me enough time to
I think so.
get healed.
Okay. Well,
You in for it, Judy?
Well, as far as I know.
Do you know what we're talking about, the salt?
No.
see, Judy's new. And every time I hear your name, I think of that Andy Griffith episode. Judy.
But we met when our kids played T-ball, and they're now in their 29s and 30s. We didn't know for a long time. My first name is Judy, but I go by Diane.
It
I didn't know
is
that.
all the time. I didn't know.
Yeah, so
I didn't know it for a long time, and I was like, that's why we get along.
Yeah. So what else do y'all like about this age?
Some women stuff problems.
Yes, that's true.
Don't have them
That's
no
true.
more.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
Those things that
but
shall be unsaid.
we get the new hot flash stuff, which
I haven't
you know,
had
you
hot
get rid of
flashes
one
yet.
and you
Yeah.
get something
Just get
else.
ready. If you haven't had them.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I won't have them because I never
Maybe.
had anything normal.
Well, you know what?
You will
my
be
mom
very
didn't
lucky.
have
I'm actually cold all the time. So if I get to hot flash, I probably just get to normal. I can sit in a room.
No, I used to be cold all the time.
Oh, really?
And I was.
Oh, man,
I'm
I
really
like
hot
to sit, you know, the garage where we had the last thing? So I put a table out there and a chair, and I've made that into a woman cave. When I couldn't make it my counseling place, I made it to a
She
woman cave, a she shed. But it's hot out there, and I actually like it. Because it's like, it's a good temperature, sweat, and all
For
that kind
you.
of stuff. Because I don't normally sweat. So,
See, I never used
Oh,
to.
you will.
until
I
got
don't
to
want to
this.
sweat. That's my problem.
And my
So I'm
problem
weird.
is I don't want to take medication. I
um,
don't want to take any hormones. I don't want to
No,
take
I don't do
anything. And for a while there, for several months, it got really bad.
really?
Every 15 minutes, I was just, and I told my husband, and I started crying because I
Oh.
thought, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't want to take anything. And then maybe about a month after that,
Really?
and so now it's like where it is now, where every once in a while I'll get hot, but it's not where you could, when I first got them, you could feel it coming across the back up to the front, and you could feel it. And then my daughter would look at me, "You're having a hot flash, aren't you?" And I said, "You can tell." And she
Your
says,
body gets red.
"Yes."
Because that's
And you
what
can just see all the perspiration.
Oh,
And
really?
it just hits you all of a sudden.
Well, y'all scaring me.
And you can feel it. It just like goes up your body.
I was always
you know
wearing
it.
tank tops with another shirt because I couldn't wear t-shirts, I couldn't wear sweatshirts because I wanted to take them off. So I had to wear something like layered where I could take off.
There's a whole lot of the pretension and things that goes away when you get older too. You don't feel like you have to always be impressing someone or figure something out, you know, always worried about what everybody else thinks.
Well, I am who I am, and I'm not going to change.
That's
Love
right.
me, you know.
Leave me.
Love me or leave me.
Yep.
What were you going to say?
I like that you can, like now since I have grandkids, I can do whatever I want and then go back to your mom and dad.
After you feed them a
Candy,
bunch
do all
of,
the stuff that,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
you
one
didn't
of
want people to do to your kids.
right?
And, you know, spoil them all the time. Every time we go to California, oh, I need to buy them something. Okay, let's get some gifts. Let's buy some gifts.
Well, Hannah she's got the best of both worlds. She's got parents who are the age of grandparents. You know?
So she gets whatever she wants.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. We told her that when she gets older and goes to college, we're going to get a fifth wheel and we're going to drive around and park wherever she is. And when she comes out of her dorm, we're going to come out in our road saying, "Hey, honey, come on for breakfast! Come on for breakfast!"
Fluffy slippers and the robe.
She's sitting in the back.
If Hannah needs grandmas, we got it covered here.
Yeah.
Come to us anytime. We'll be grandma.
One of the best way, and I remember, one of the best way to discipline your children is to embarrass the heck out of them. Yeah, that's, my kids would probably, you know, because I had seen this thing on Oprah one time when I was watching Oprah years ago when they were little. And the parent actually went to school with them and sat there. And so she's watching, she says, "Mom, are you going to do that?" I said, "If I have to, I'll sit behind you. And every time the teacher will ask a question, I'm going to raise my hand." She'll answer.
She'll answer.
"Mom, no, don't ever do that." I said, "Okay, then you better behave."
Oh my
Because
goodness.
I will go down there. I will take time off work.
Well, Todd says that he's going to get a prison uniform. And he's going to have a shotgun. And when she has a date come, he's going to be sitting on the porch and he's going to be saying, "I just got out of prison. I don't care about going back tonight."
As a matter of fact, I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I was the boss of Stale B.
Maybe Hannah, when she goes on her first date, she needs to call one of us and we'll come over and help her.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I think being older is a lot more fun, don't y'all? I mean, you don't.
But I like being
It's kinda-
retired.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? I remember, and when I first retired, I used to all have to get my bag, get my clothes, make sure all my clothes are ready to go, and you know, all that kind of stuff, my paperwork, and take off to go to work. But I don't have to do that now. So the first maybe month or so, I'd go to sleep and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get my bag. Oh, I don't have to do that anymore.
That's right.
Yep, that is a nice
I
thing.
get up and I don't have any place to go.
But one thing we found, Judy and I have talked about it, I don't know how I got anything done when I was working. Because
I know. I'm still working, but it's only
I'm busy all the time.
Yeah.
But which is
Well,
good. But there's days if I wake up and I just don't feel like doing anything, I just don't do anything. And there's days you get up, you're ready to go, you go do whatever. So, I mean, you get that freedom now. You know, we need to enjoy it because we worked all of our lives. You know.
Well, they used to tell us, they used to tell my husband, hey, you know what, you're going to be bored when you retire. He says, I have more stuff going on now than I did when I was working.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know, you just find stuff to do. You know, there's stuff around the house that we need to
Always,
do, and then, you know, we're going to church. I've never been to church so much in my life when I was a Christian, when I was a Catholic. You know, go Wednesday nights, and we go Sundays, and then we had Bible studies on Mondays, and, which I liked it.
I mean, I'm really so grateful for our women's ministry at the church because we didn't used to have that. It's just like we went to the mom's
Plug out for
night
Miss
out.
Bunny and them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that mom's night out, and they were talking about, you know, how they were there together and stuff. And Judy and I were going, we didn't have any of that. We were kind of on our own because we didn't have a mom's night out group. But it's really good. So anybody wants to come to mom's night out at the church, it's usually once a quarter. It's not for the moms with little kids that need to get away. It's for all age moms. You
So
know,
we can learn from each
You
other.
learn from
Yeah.
each other, like said, experience.
even we could tell they would
Ideas.
we had to. It gets better, you know. I mean, it's a good thing, and then the Bible study, and you know all that
We
stuff.
just had a prayer retreat during
know,
the time you
yeah.
had your home.
Yeah.
And the
That
whole
was good.
events. I mean, it all is just, you know, we need to keep growing. You know, it doesn't say, okay, when you get to be grandma age, you don't have to learn, you don't have to go to church, you know, you've done all that. You got to keep growing and learning and being that person that God wants us to be, because every day I pray, I pray that everything I do today will bring honor and glory to you. And some days I do really good,
That's
and
right.
some days I don't. But that's my goal every day, is to honor and glorify Him.
I think grandmas are different now because we have the internet. I've seen some really cool grandmas out there. There's one lady, she's round, and she has this beautiful white hair and the most amazing smile. And all she does is get in her 1950s kitchen in the morning. She wakes up with this big smile. She's got her curlers in her hair. And she goes out on her porch and does something. Then she comes in and bakes bread. And she's talking about how to have a positive life and love life. And she's got all kinds of followers just bringing joy. Her smile is infectious. And grandmas, and then there's some that are really gritty. You know, they are really gritty. They're looking for a man, and they're out there to, you know, they're putting the plan out there and the lipstick and everything. So there's some grandmas that have been on the internet. They're hilarious.
I think we are the older, I think we're more positive because we've seen stuff, and we, you know, we have learned quite a bit, you know, in our age and stuff. And I mean, we got to be positive. You know, we've got to help this generation coming up.
There's so much negativity.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell my husband. Sometimes he's in a bad mood because of something. Honey, I don't want your negativity around me. I'm a positive person.
I say that same thing to mine.
I have to keep mine. You know, and a lot of times I'll joke all the time. And I'll tell him, you know what, your life is very interesting. He says, I know. He says, sometimes I can't believe what comes out of your mouth.
But I think that positive attitude is what we need, you know, because if we're positive, even when something's bad going on, you know, be positive. You'll get through it, and you know God's with you. It took me a long time to learn all of that. I mean, I wish I had known it back when younger.
We wish we knew a lot of stuff back then.
Yeah.
We know
It's
now.
interesting, my son that just had the baby, of course, they're first-time parents, I'm first-time grandma, and I'm kind of trying to hold back, like, okay, you know, they're grown-ups. It's their baby.
Yeah.
They get to do what they want to do. But, like, their doctor says, you have to wake that baby up every 3 hours and feed her. And, of course, me, I can't keep my mouth shut. So I said, why are you waking her up every 3 hours? And my husband, Mark, says, Judy, just let it go. Just let it go. They're the parent. They got to do what they got to do. And I'm like, I know that I was there, just like all of us have been there.
Let that baby
First
sleep.
time. Exactly.
Did they ask the doctor? Hey,
I don't know, but that, she's got to eat every 3 hours. And my advice, one of the best advice, I guess, being a brand new mother, never wake a sleeping baby. And I wanted to say that to them, and I thought, I know, I was there. I used to want to go exactly by the doctor, and I know somebody just recently told my son, when you have that first baby, yeah, you're going to go by the rules and everything, but he said, second baby, let him eat dirt, do whatever, you're going to be fine. You're going to chill.
I never woke baby up to feed. When that baby gets hungry, he's going to
the
let
baby
you know.
will.
Oh, yes,
They're going to
exactly.
wake up and they'll let
Mine did that too, but
I didn't know how to be a mom. I'd never had kids. I'd never been pregnant before her. And so if she could do it, if she could ask to do it, then I thought she was supposed to do it. So she said, I want to climb on the cabinets. She was little, like 3 or something. She wanted to climb on the cabinets in the kitchen. I said, okay, well, I'll teach you how to fall. So I taught her how to fall and protect her head. And I let her climb everywhere. And she has the strongest core that of anybody I know. And she's just, she's strong and brave and all these kind of things. And it was because if she would ask me, can I do this? And it wasn't something that was like horrible, like play in the street, I would find a way to help her be able to do it. Because that, to me, that was her mind, her heart wanted to be brave and explore and get out there and experience. And if we said we'd never change the way we spoke. So you can't tell it by my southern drawl, but I do have big words in my vocabulary that I throw out every now and then. And so she would hear the word and she'd say, what does that mean? And I'd say, well, you can't learn what it means until you can say it. And she would repeat it. And when she would repeat it, then I would tell her what it means, and she could retain it. And so she could read something that's like college level right now because of that. Because I did not know that, like, you're supposed to wake them up every 3 hours or whatever. I'm like, I would think she knows what she needs, and I never said you have to eat all your peas and you have to do this. I was like, if she's hungry, she's hungry. And she turned out really good.
And when they get, if they want something to eat, they're going to let you know.
Exactly.
And when they get full, they'll let you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, you just have to, everybody told me, because I was an older mom when I got pregnant, and I thought, I'm not going to know what to do. They said, your motherly instinct will kick in. And I thought, yeah, right. But it did. I mean, you knew what to do,
Yeah, my son, he's a heavy sleeper. And he kept saying, I am so scared that I'm not going to hear her when she wakes up. I said, you will.
You'll hear her.
And I mean, he's the best dad. I mean, he's really a great dad. But
One of those baby monitors.
they do have that.
They'll make them feel better.
Right. But he wakes up. So, he knows those things. So, but he was afraid he wouldn't have that instinct. And I said, yes,
When you hear that baby will let you know.
you're a parent now.
You get
and
an
you will
instinct.
have it. You will have it.
So we're bringing Hannah in, since we've been talking about her. So what's it like for you to be in this culture, and how do you feel about grandmas and all that kind of stuff, and your own nana and everything?
Okay, now you're between two grandmas. So.
That's right. What's it like for you to be in this generation? Well, speak up.
It must be hard.
As a Christian, it's hard because everyone doesn't
Speak up.
agree.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I just have to push past that because God's greater than their lives and stuff.
Yeah. What's something that you could help, and speak up so they can hear you, what's something you could help with grandmas out there that are hurting maybe over their own grandkids that are not Christians, or good ways they can reach them? What's it? What do you think would be good?
Just pray. And don't push it down their throat or they'll hate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with that.
I agree.
How important was it for you that we lived it in front of you instead of just pushing it down your throat? Yeah. Because she has her own. I mean, she has her own. She's made her own prayer board, her own journaling, her own videos, all these things where she's reaching out to people. So what's it like for you to be in a totally Christian school?
I love it.
You love it? All right.
It's kind of nice to have people that think like you.
Yeah.
Is that kind of something that's given you some comfort? Because you're 12. Has it given you comfort to have friends around that actually do think like you about Christ and are not always challenging you? Yeah. Okay.
And you did hear us say, if you need grandma, you call one of us.
I'm a cool grandma.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
she's a swag grandma.
Yeah, I'm a
You
swag.
used to swag.
We can take you out and spoil you and then give them back to you.
Yeah, and say, okay, we're done.
She gets spoiled pretty good already. But I'll tell you what she did yesterday. Just so to brag on her. So you know, when you have your own business, you can pay your kids up to a certain amount. And that's like a tax shelter. But we have a financial planner. We're taking advantage of that. And there's certain things that, you know, she does that, you know, are part of it, but it's not like a hourly type thing. But she doesn't get that money. That money goes into an account for a car and college and things like that. And so she said, I really want to have money in my own hands, so I think this is what I'm going to do. So she put together a little business plan, and she's going to do some cleaning and organizing and babysitting and cat sitting and dog sitting and all those kind of things. And then I said, well, you're kind of young for that. I'm just not going to give you out to the neighbors. I don't know them, all of them and everything. And I said, so what you can do is you could start here at home. And so she put together a little plan, and she, all day yesterday, she organized every drawer and every closet in my house.
Wow.
So she
you
did
sure
a
you
good
don't wanna
job.
kinda
Yeah, if you
give her
want
out?
her, if you want her, and I trust you, yeah. So
That's right
little
now
plug. She
we're
does
pink.
$20 per zone, but I gave her extra because she did such a good job. I mean, my towels look good, and you know the advantage is that a lot of times when she does towels or puts up dishes, she in the past would just throw them wherever. And I would open the door and go, ah! But now she's actually going to be watching it. And when Daddy puts it in the wrong place, she knows where it's supposed to go. And she can help that way. But she did a great job. So I'm proud of her. So is there any tips that you can give any grandmas as they are dealing with their own grandkids? Things that you think would be really cool?
Something you'd want your grandma to do.
Spoil them.
Huh?
Not too much. Spoil them, but not too much.
Spoil them, but not too much.
You don't want to be a brat.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. And how do you feel about the FaceTime stuff? They get that. They get FaceTime. So she's on the phone with my mom, every day or something? So they FaceTime.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
We're starting to do that.
Yeah. It's not the same, but, I mean, her name is in South Carolina, so, you know, she can't be
You
here.
do what you have to do.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So anybody have anything else they want to add before we close up? All right. I want to thank y'all for being here. You want to ring the bell? Yay! Good girl. Bye.